Good morning. Welcome to this episode of the On the Water Weekly Whiskey Breakfast. This past week was a week of deep reflection as we remember the events of 9/11. September 11th was a horrific day for those of us who remember it. It's hard to believe it was more than 20 years ago, and it's really hard to believe that most Americans under the age of, say, 24 have no recollection of this whatsoever. It was a day that no matter where you were, what you were doing, you remember it. And you remember where you were and what you were doing. I was at Oviedo High School with a group of students. It looked like a Benetton commercial. Black, white, brown, yellow, purple, and green kids. They had fear in their eyes and terror in their hearts. They didn't know what was happening. They were having a hard time believing that America could be attacked in that manner. And it was a way we kind of all lost our innocence that day, that someone would actually attack us on our own soil. It was the deadliest attack by an outside force ever on U.S. soil. If you think back and look at what happened afterwards, it was surreal in the fact that we forgot about our own individual agendas. We were Americans, regardless of where we came from. We had been attacked at its core. Thousands of people went to work that day as a normal day, never to come home again. First responders that helped those never came home again. Military men and women who went to bring these people to justice never came home again. And it created a sense of patriotism amongst America that was unfortunately way too short-lived. It's hard for me not to think, if you belong to a group and you feel oppressed, you feel persecuted, but whether it's your culture, your race, your religion, your sexuality, imagine if those people had been victorious. Most people with anything they didn't believe in would be put to death immediately. So if you hate America, it's like you hate yourself, because you wouldn't have the opportunity to express yourself in any of those other countries. So please understand, if for no other reason, you should love America, because it allows you to love yourself. And with that, if that's hard for you to swallow, let me introduce to you something that's easy to swallow. This is Weller's Special Reserve. It's a green label, and it is my favorite whiskey of all times. For those of you in the know that it's distilled in the same place with the same recipe and the same methods of the same company's Pappy Van Winkle's, the holy grail of bourbon. Except for $3,000 a bottle, it only costs $30 a bottle when you can find it. It was a pretty good kept secret for about 2 or 3 years, and now you just can't find it anymore. This is from actually another bottle. This bottle is still unopened. This is the most smooth, rich, mellow whiskey you could possibly imagine. It is just outstanding in every way. There is not a thing wrong with it whatsoever, other than the fact you can't find it. I'm not going to review a cigar this week, just out of respect. If I think of 9/11 and anybody else thinks about it, I promise you think of smoke, you think of ash, you think of burning. It's just awful. So this week I'll forego the cigar portion. So please reflect, please remember those that were not as fortunate as us. And if you're not happy, just remember how bad your life would suck if you were even allowed to have it somewhere else. With that, have a great weekend. Sorry it was a little depressing. Next week we'll lighten moods up a little bit. Have a great week.